In order to test whether her boyfriend is loyal to their love, the woman imprisoned herself in the secret room of her home. She observed every move of her boyfriend through the mirror, until one day her best friend suddenly showed up. The three of them were separated by a thick wall in an unimaginable way. They lived under the same roof. You will definitely be shocked when you see the end. Is love that twisted still really love? Is it really love anymore? Welcome to watch the latest suspenseful romance film in 2025, The Hidden Face. This film stars Song Chang-sien and Park Ji-hyun. Directed by the renowned director Ren Jen-jong, it is a remake of the classic suspense film The Hidden Face. However, the director has made drastic changes to the plot of the original film. He made significant alterations, not only adding elements of a love triangle, lesbian relationships, and LGBTQ elements. In terms of depicting the twisted nature of emotions and the dark side of human nature, it has reached a higher level. The ending is even more jaw-dropping. It can be said to be the most astonishing Korean film this year, so today let's enjoy it together. The film begins with a breakup video. In the video, Seraphina pours out her heart to her boyfriend Seung. Our relationship can no longer be sustained. It's better to part ways and each go our own way. What do you think? No, it's not about what you think, it's about what I think. I think we should break up after leaving this video. Seraphina went abroad for a trip and never came back. The domineering and willful nature of his girlfriend made Seung miserable. Even the breakup was so sudden and reckless. I'd say like mother like daughter, because Seraphina's mother Valentina is also a willful and domineering strong woman. Sister Ji-hyun is the conductor of the symphony orchestra. Born into a wealthy family, she has an overbearing personality. Her daughter Seraphina is a cellist in the orchestra. She perfectly inherited her mother's temperament. This wealthy young lady took a fancy to the poor guy Seung. She promoted him all the way to become the conductor of the orchestra. No matter how you look at it, it has the style of a poor person marrying into a wealthy family. Seung was born into a poor family. He is handsome and has a high musical talent, but in the eyes of others, the reason why Seung is doing so well now is largely due to Seraphina's support. Now, the young lady Seraphina left a breakup video and ran away from home. The position of the cellist in the orchestra is vacant, and no one has replaced her yet. One day, a female musician named Amara came to report. She claimed to be an old classmate of Seraphina's. They were taught by the same music teacher, and she guaranteed that she could perfectly replace Seraphina to become the new cellist of the orchestra. Amara's audition piece was a piece by Schubert. Her favorite musician is Schubert. Isn't that a coincidence? Seung's favorite musician is also Schubert. But because he wanted to consider Seraphina's feelings, Seung deliberately disliked Amara. At first, he said that the piece she played was too simple and not suitable for the audition. When Amara heard this, she felt insulted and left on the spot. Afterwards, Seung realized that he had spoken rudely. So he visited Amara's home to apologize in person and officially invited Amara to join the orchestra. I have to say, Amara is indeed a talented musician. Her musical performance ability is no less than Seraphina's and even more outstanding. In addition, Amara is also very beautiful. She has a gentle personality and there is always a warm and a bit naughty smile on her lips. This made Seung, who had just broken up and was feeling empty, lonely, and cold, very tempted. So on a stormy night, Seung invited Amara to his home for a drink. The clothes wet by the rain outlined the woman's perfect figure, coupled with the slight intoxication of alcohol and the reflection of the mirror. How could they not have an affair? Adults don't talk nonsense. The two of them had an intimate encounter in front of the mirror. That night, whether outside the window or on the bed, it was a scene of wind and rain interweaving and rolling thunder. As for Seraphina, since she ran away from home, there has been no sign of her. It's as if she disappeared from the world. So here comes the question, was the encounter between Seung and Amara really a coincidence? Is the relationship between Amara and Seraphina just that of old classmates? The relationship between Amara and Seraphina, is it really just that of old classmates? Let's go back 3 months ago. Seraphina, who had finished performing outside, returned to Seoul with her boyfriend Seung. At this time, Amara had been waiting at the airport for a long time. Seung didn't know Amara at this time, but Seraphina and Amara were old acquaintances. Seraphina said to Amara, I really didn't expect you to be waiting for me here. Some things should just end here. We're not children anymore. You know what I'm talking about. Upon hearing Seraphina's words, a trace of bitterness flashed in Amara's eyes. Seraphina took her poor boyfriend Seung and moved into a newly bought big house. This house was left by their music teacher. It has a history of more than 70 years after decoration and renovation. The interior decoration is already very luxurious. It's quite like the newlyweds' bridal chamber for Seraphina and Seung. From their interaction, it can be seen that Seung doesn't really love Seraphina. Facing this wealthy young lady girlfriend with a delicate, willful, and extremely possessive personality, his attitude has always been one of courtesy and indifference. It's not like the loving and playful behavior of normal couples playing around, but a very deliberate politeness. Ultimately, it's because he doesn't love her. The key is Seraphina has an extremely strong sense of control and possessiveness. Whenever any woman gets close to Seung, Seraphina will get jealous. But in fact she can also feel that Seung doesn't love her. It's just that she doesn't want to believe it. She doesn't want to accept this either. Privately, Seraphina complained to Amara, "Why doesn't Seung love me? How dare he not love me? What right does he have not to love me? Have I not been good to him? Everything he has now is because of me. He should love me even if I don't love him. He should still love me. This is as natural as 112, don't you think so?" Amara rolled her eyes at her. "How is this natural? Why do you think the whole world should revolve around you?" Regarding Seraphina's selfishness and arrogance, I'm afraid no one understands it better than Amara. Because a long time ago, during their school days, they were originally a couple. You heard it right, they were a same-sex couple. In order to prove that Seung loved her very much and couldn't live without her, an idea popped into Seraphina's mind. This house at home is no ordinary one. There is actually a secret room behind the bookshelf. Every mirror in the house is one-way transparent. Hiding in the secret room, one can clearly observe everything in the house. One can clearly observe everything in the house, but if one stands outside the mirror and looks inside, one simply can't discover this secret room. There is a wash basin in the secret room. There is a toilet, a bed, and a cabinet. When there is an ample supply of food and water, a person can live inside for a long time. It is precisely in this secret room the two sisters in their school days frequently went on dates. They even exchanged their first kisses. The two of them spent one after another ambiguous and shy afternoon time. Here Seraphina wants to pretend to break up with Seung, then hide in the secret room, observe Seung's reaction up close. The sadder and more sorrowful Seung is, the happier she will be. By means of peeping and torturing people to satisfy the pleasure in her heart. It has to be said Seraphina's desire for control and possessiveness definitely leans towards the direction of being abnormal. When recording the breakup video, Amara was sitting beside, watching the dramatic sisters bustling around, packing things, taking food and water, preparing to lock themselves in the secret room for 3 days. As Amara left, the secret room fell into darkness. Seraphina was eating snacks, leisurely waiting for Seung to come home from work. Observing Seung's reaction when watching the breakup video is full of perverse tastes. When seeing Seung scratching his head and sighing, Seraphina was almost overjoyed. Look. You can't live without me, can you? Since you are sincerely feeling sad, then this young lady will show great mercy and appear. Take pity on your lonely and cold soul. So Seraphina picked up the key, preparing to open the door of the secret room, but she found that something was wrong. The key simply couldn't open the door. Either the door was broken, or Amara gave the wrong key. Seraphina was shouting and crying for help desperately in the secret room, smashing things around noisily. However, Seung in the house couldn't hear any sound at all. The walls of this house are particularly thick and it has excellent sound insulation. It completely cuts off all the sounds outside. As for the mobile phone signal, it is completely blocked. There is no way to contact the outside world at all. Seraphina was almost in tears. How could this be? This secret room is too sealed. Seraphina spent day after day in the darkness. There are instant noodles that have expired for 20 years in the secret room. This is the genuine Laotan pickled mustard. Tuber noodles is incredibly sour and refreshing, but in order to survive, she had to hold her nose and swallow them. Just when she was on the verge of despair, Amara appeared. Seraphina quickly asked her sister for help through the mirror in the bathroom. Amara showed a provocative smile. Now in your house, there are only me and your husband left. We've both been drinking. What do you think will happen between us? So you're stuck in the secret room and can't get out, right? Amara deliberately stood in front of the mirror, letting Seraphina watch helplessly as she played cards with Seung. Since Seung likes Amara, his attitude towards Amara is completely different from his attitude towards Seraphina. The whole process is like a silent show-off. Amara provocatively said, "How about it? This is what it feels like to be loved. You've never been truly and sincerely loved in your life. Have you really loved the pampered young lady? There will come a day when she turns into a poor wretch. Then why don't we swap our lives from now on? You'll take your place and enjoy this glory, wealth, and the happiness of a harmonious family. As for Seraphina, you can just rot and stink in this little dark room and have maggots all over your body." Seraphina has now completely broken down and fallen into madness. She desperately smashed the door, trying to stop this man and woman. But the outside world couldn't hear the slightest sound at all. There is a chain in the secret room. Remember, during their school days, the two sisters were playing in the secret room. At that time, Seraphina put the chain around Amara's ankle. Amara felt it was novel and exciting, and she deliberately threw the key far away. Seraphina showed a mischievous smile and pretended to say, "Aren't you afraid that I won't unlock it for you?" Amara acted coquettishly towards Seraphina. "I believe in you, sister. No matter what, you will unlock it for me." The private game between the girls back then has now actually become a reality. It's just that the positions of the two people have been reversed. Now it's Amara who has locked Seraphina in the secret room, Why did these two good sisters completely fall out? Ultimately, it's still Seraphina's own doing from their school days until now. Amara has always liked Seraphina and has always regarded Seraphina as her elder sister. The two of them maintained a secret romantic relationship, but later Seraphina chose to give up this relationship while on an outdoor performance. She took the initiative to find a man and planned to get married and start a family. That man was Seung. As for Amara, she was still thinking about her sister with all her heart, thinking about her sister day and night, hoping that her sister would come home and be together soon. But what she got was a breakup call from the other side on the phone. Seraphina said straightforwardly, "I can't be with a woman. As the only daughter of a wealthy family, I will find a man to get married and have children and live a life that is recognized by society. A normal and real life." Amara wanted to ask further, "Is the life we have together not a normal life, a false life?" The arrogant Seraphina showed her venomous side. She said unceremoniously Amara was just a tool for her to have fun. The time they spent together before, just consider it a dream. Now the dream is over and everything should end with a snap. Seraphina hung up the phone, without considering Amara's feelings at all, leaving Amara standing there stunned, heartbroken, and in tears. That's how everything that happened later came about. Looking at Amara on the other side of the mirror, Seraphina finally realized that she was wrong. Countless people had advised her not to be arrogant and willful, and to consider other people's feelings more, but this young lady still went her own way, treating everyone around her as a tool. Now she has finally received her retribution. Seraphina couldn't help but shed tears of regret. During the time when Seraphina was missing her mother, Valentina began to suspect, was her daughter kidnapped or murdered? The most likely person to do it is Seung, a boy from a poor family who is punching above his weight by marrying my daughter. There is a high possibility that he killed for money, but there is no evidence to prove this. Seraphina tried to send a distress signal to Seung by controlling the water flow through the sluice gate. To send a distress signal to Seung, but this only made Seung mistake it for a problem with the home water pipes broken, and he even called a plumber. He almost cut off the water source of the secret room. Until one quiet night late at night, Seung found that the water from the faucet was intermittent. When he said start, the water would flow out. When he said stop, the water would stop. Could this faucet be voice activated? But in fact it was Seraphina's response based on the lip movements she saw the response made. Seung pressed his ear against the wall. Seraphina tried her best to smash the wall and the water pipe. Seung was suddenly startled. He felt the slightest vibration of the wall. Could there be someone hidden inside? He immediately picked up a flower pot. He wanted to smash the mirror in front of him, but at the moment he was about to do it, he hesitated. Seraphina could respond according to his actions. That means Seraphina could see everything that happened in the room. If Seraphina is released, given her temper as a pampered young lady, she will take revenge in an instant. In this case, Seraphina in the secret room was left dumbfounded. Brother, hurry up and do it. But Seung remained unmoved. The more Seung thought about it, the more he felt something was amiss. He discovered that the weekly door password was Seraphina's birthday. The phone unlocking password was the last few digits of Seraphina's phone number. The screensaver photo on the phone was actually a group photo of the two sisters. So he questioned Amara, what on earth is your relationship with Seraphina? It can't just be that you're old classmates, right? Tell me, did you lock Seraphina up? Amara gave a cold laugh and dropped all her pretenses. The gentle and elegant talented music girl simply lit a cigarette directly and confessed to what she had done without hesitation. Amara asked Seung to make his own decision whether to release Seraphina or not. If she comes out, you'll go to prison and you'll go bankrupt and become penniless in an instant. Do you want to take a gamble? Obviously Seung didn't dare to take the risk at all. Grimacing with determination, he chose to ignore Seraphina until one day both Seung and Amara received a text message. It was actually sent by Seraphina. Could it be that Seraphina has already escaped? On the day they received the text message, the two of them took leave and didn't go to the orchestra. Valentina saw this and broke out in a cold sweat because it was she who used Seraphina's identity information to register the number and send the text message. It seems that her daughter's disappearance is related to these two people. Seung returned home and forcefully asked Amara to open the secret room. He wanted to see if the person was real inside. Amara tried every means to persuade him, saying that it was impossible for her to escape. You're just overthinking it. However, Seung had a guilty conscience. No matter what was said, he was unwilling. In desperation, Amara had no choice but to open the secret room. The two of them went in and saw that the weak Seraphina was collapsed on the ground, barely breathing. When Amara approached, Seraphina grabbed his hand and gave it a hard swing. Amara's head hit the wall. He fell to the ground and couldn't get up. Seung quickly took Seraphina and escaped from the secret room. He locked Amara inside. After regaining her freedom, Seraphina, the first thing she thought of was to have a meal. The second thing was to take a bath. She had been so pent up during this period. As for calling the police, Seraphina didn't want to do that. Seung-heon was startled. Seraphina now seemed like a different person. She didn't act like a naive young lady shouting and screaming, crying, making a scene, and threatening to commit suicide. Instead, she calmly examined the current situation and took the initiative to hide all of this. A year later, Seung-heon and Seraphina were already married. In the eyes of outsiders, they were a perfect couple. But in fact, their relationship was as cold as ice. It could be said that it was just a marriage in name. They had the name of husband and wife, but not the reality of a marital relationship. Seung-heon became obsessed with playing golf. He left early in the morning and returned late at night. He would avoid going home if he could. However, before leaving, he still had to perform the rituals of a husband. Seraphina opened the door of the secret room. The furniture in the secret room, the bed and the electrical appliances were brand new. And there were also added mood lights. Amara, dressed in a sexy outfit, was locked in handcuffs hanging from the ceiling. She looked at Seraphina with eyes full of unfulfilled desires. She threw the key to the handcuffs to Seraphina. Just like many years ago, Seraphina smiled and walked into the secret room. The ambiguous atmosphere was ignited. This was the paradise of bliss for the two sisters, an Eden that wouldn't be discovered by anyone. Here the two sisters could both return to their true selves and freely release their desires to control and be controlled. This might be the best ending, the end of the whole story. If everyone wants to understand the unexpected turn at the end, then one has to consider a potential question. When Amara locked Seraphina in the secret room, did he really want his dear elder sister to be locked up until? No, in my opinion, even without Seung-heon, Amara would have taken the initiative to open the door of the secret room. Amara once said to Seraphina, "I believe that elder sister will definitely unlock the door for me," and vice versa. Having accompanied Seraphina for so many years, he fully understood Seraphina's almost pathological desire for control and possessiveness, but he just didn't want to part ways, because he enjoyed it. The unequal relationship between the two of them was actively created by him. Don't believe Amara's rebellion. This kind of rebellion was just an excuse and a reason to provoke Seraphina and prompt Seraphina to punish him. As can be seen from the memories of their school days, the dominant one in this relationship, on the surface it seemed to be the more assertive Seraphina. But in fact it was Amara. He was the one who took the initiative to kiss, and he was also the one who initiated the chain game. It all started a long time ago. In the SM relationship, the M is the real dominant one, the superior and the controller. That's exactly what it means. And this is also the most fascinating part of a sadomasochistic relationship throughout this whole process. Seung-heon was just a temporary tool. He was just one part of the game. Everything seemed to be related to him, but in fact it had nothing to do with him. This is the hidden way to play the game.